What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a quick update on the markets and break down how things are looking so far as we're seeing more bulls taking control. Let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 free stocks in total. And the offer ends very soon, in just about 3 weeks from now. Anyways, now I want to talk about what's happening with the overall markets. Looking at SPY, we're seeing a lot of buyers stepping in, trying to push us higher. We were consolidating a bit with Jerome Powell's speech, with him being basically questioned by the House committee. But then he started to once again just say, the same old things as he usually does, and it wasn't really affecting the market much. However, the market is still pushing as a result of, I would say, some positive sentiment approaching CPI. And I don't really think Jerome Powell's saying much that's really affecting the market too much. From what I was listening to, it was just lots of politics getting in the way. Jerome Powell having to say, very, very broad things. He was very careful with his words again, just like how he was from yesterday. That's why the market was chopping a bit. Now the market is starting to push a little higher and higher. Because of the fact that I think there's going to be some excitement approaching CPI, and usually before the CPIs we see manipulation, so it's not really a surprise. But I just wanted to note that with Powell's testimony, he hasn't been saying much in front of the House Financial Services panel. He's just saying the same old things again and again about how they have the 2% targets, how the Fed has to continue to monitor the situation. And a lot of these politicians are just getting very political, trying to get Powell to say something, which doesn't make sense to me. So it just doesn't make sense, guys. In my personal opinion, unless Powell says something really crazy, if he makes a very, very bold claim about inflation, about monetary policy, the market's not really reacting as heavily as it typically does to him. Uh, for now, however, we are still seeing buyers stepping in defending. I wouldn't solely put this all on Powell. It's also because of CPI tomorrow. So we're starting to see some positive outlooks approaching that, a lot of confidence about that. So for SPY, we're going to be looking at this 558 resistance to see if this could break or not. If we do break this, I'll be looking at 558.5 as our next potential target. And overall, it's looking more bullish than bearish. If we were to lose 557.25, I'll be looking at our very, very key supports right here around 556.6, followed by 555. Overall, we are looking more bullish for favoring the upside, and SPY wants to be testing 558 soon, if not breaking it, to get to 558.5, then 559. Looking bullish overall. For Nvda, we're also trying to break out right now. We're going to be looking at this 135 area as our resistance. We've been pushing quite nicely as we're getting closer and closer to it. I'm going to be watching just to see how we end up developing here. But just know that on Nvda, this high is going to be very, very significant. If I actually bring up the 4-hour time frame, you could see that Nvidia is trying to make a nice, very, very sharp recovery. If we break 135, I'll be looking at this imbalance to fill towards 137.5. That's going to be our next target. We're looking more bullish, so we're favoring upside. Nvidia is holding up very, very well. For Bitcoin, I know a lot of people are interested in this. It's not doing that great of a job. We're actually just shuffling around at 58,000. I want to see us actually try to break 58,000 to turn more bullish. Break and hold above that. We haven't done that yet. We're just still kind of like shuffling. So we'll see how it goes. But overall, not bad from Bitcoin. We're still in a very, very key place, holding 57,570. That's going to be our 20 EMA. If we were to lose that, then there could be a bigger dip to the 56,000s. But as long as we hold this, we could be looking for a rebound. So far, so good. For a few more out there, I wanted to call out ES. I know a lot of people are interested in trading this. Right now, this is looking very bullish on the 4-hour. It's favoring a bigger push to much higher levels. I'm going to be looking for 5660 very soon. So we are favoring upside even more, even on ES. So futures are looking pretty decent. Tesla, on the other hand, is looking kind of flat. So what's happening to Tesla is they got a negative rating from Goldman Sachs. They are still they mentioned that they have a price target of 248 very recently. So they're anticipating there might be a little pullback coming, which is completely normal after how much Tesla pumped without much of a pullback. That wouldn't necessarily surprise if we do end up getting a little decline, but then it could start running even more in the future. But for now, what's happening in Tesla is we're not going to worry about a decline or anything like that. We have basically this resistance at this 265 zone, and we have support currently around 260 and 258. I think Tesla's going to just be range bound for now, trade sideways in this range for the time being. It's just barely in the green, a little bit flat compared to the market, so it's not performing as strongly as before because resistance is getting tougher after how much we pumped. So look for some range bound price action on Tesla. Could Tesla dip later? It's possible, but there's no sign of us losing 260. If we close below that, that's going to be a sign of weakness. Not seeing that yet. I think we're just going to shuffle, by the way. Going back to the QQQ, I think we're going to most likely see this thing attempt to push for 500. If that breaks, I'll be looking at 501. I think that we're going to be attempting to go higher, maybe chop around the higher we go, because 500 is a tough resistance. And to be bearish, you want to see it lose basically 496.78. I'm not really seeing that right now. I think we're going to go a little higher on the QQQ and consolidate around the 500s. So I see a little bit more upside potential, so we'll have to see how it goes from there. Looking at Apple, sorry, I have Apple right here before I talk about Supermicro. Apple's pushing up for 231.5 as resistance. We have 230 as support. I think we could push a little higher than consolidate in the 231 area. So I'm seeing some more upside potential. For Supermicro, we're trying to rebound right over here, trying to push a little bit higher. If we continue to push, I'll be looking for basically 920 as resistance. We have 900 as support, not to mention 880, but this does favor a little bit of a push on Supermicro to fill this imbalance, especially as the 4 hour is turning more bullish. For a few more, we have AMD. AMD is once again on a very, very nice looking uptrend, and we could push a little bit higher towards like 185. So this is favoring upside as well on AMD. For Coinbase is also kind of like trading within a range. I'm going to be looking at key support around this 215 area, and we have to have resistance around 220, not to mention 222. So I think we're going to be trading within these ranges. I think we could go a little higher towards 220 to test previous support becoming resistance. So I'm seeing some potential in that. For Amazon, we're also holding up decently. We tried to break past 200, kind of struggled to do so. So now we're stuck between 197.5 as support and 200 as resistance. So I think we're going to be just range trading for now. For Meta, we're trying to break out a little bit higher. You're going to be looking for basically 535 as resistance. If that breaks, I'll be looking for a bigger push for 538. I see potential for us to go a little bit higher. So it's showing some strength and building a nice base right here. I'm seeing some potential in Meta. Microsoft is just trading sideways, kind of rejecting off our 50 EMA. Going to be looking at support around this 458 area. I think it might dip a little bit more, so there's a little bit of weakness on this chart. We could be looking for a test of 458 and then some consolidation. Not looking that great. Google, on the other hand, is just completely range bound between 192 and 190. I think it's just going to shuffle for the time being. GameStop is building some strength, trying to push higher. We're going to be looking to see if we could close with 25 or not. The resistance at 26.5 is a little bit tough for it, so it wasn't able to crack that. So I think that this might retrace towards 25, the previous breakout area, then try to bounce back up. But it's building a little bit of strength. AMC is consolidating. I want to see it try to get back above 5.5 and hold. So I'm just going to give that a little bit more time as well. With that being said, guys, as a reminder, SPY is looking more bullish, trying to break out higher, and we could try to test the 558s very soon. So it's looking more bullish to me. We'll see if we can break past 558.5 or not. QQQ is also looking more bullish. 500 should be tested soon too. But for Tesla, just know that it's still kind of range bound after how much it pumped before. This is completely normal. No surprises. And stocks like Apple are still looking kind of strong. So watch your levels, guys. Do what you have to do. And I'll be back in about 2 to 3 hours from now for another update. I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you for listening. Market to the moon because the long term is still incredibly bright. And peace out.